My best friend's husband died on a Sunday. By Wednesday, his family was fighting. Not over money, not over property, over whether he should be buried or cremated. His mother wanted burial. That's what our family does, she said. His brother thought he'd want cremation. He always said he didn't want to be stuck in the ground. She honestly didn't know. They'd never talked about it. So she guessed. She made the best decision she could with the information she had. But to this day, almost 10 years later, she still wonders, did I get it right? If you don't tell your family what you want, they'll guess. And they'll spend the rest of their lives wondering if they guessed wrong. I'm Lynn Stone, and this is The Flip Side of Death, the podcast where we talk about conversations nobody wants to have. Today, what do you want when you die? Burial or cremation? Organ donation? What kind of ceremony? Who inherits what? These aren't easy questions, but they're necessary ones. Let's dive in. Let's start with the foundation, your religious beliefs. If you have strong religious beliefs, this is your opportunity to make sure your final moments and what comes after align with your faith. Are there specific rituals or practices that are meaningful to you? Maybe you want religious music or readings, a priest, rabbi, imam, or pastor to officiate. Your body prepared according to religious customs. For example, if you're Catholic, you might want last rites administered before death, a funeral mass at your church, burial in consecrated ground, a rosary vigil the night before the funeral. If you're Jewish, you might want burial within 24 hours, a simple pine coffin, the Kaddish prayer recited, Shiva observed for 7 days. If you're Muslim, you might want body washed and wrapped in white cloth, burial faces Mecca, Janazah prayer at the mosque, burial without a casket directly in the ground. If you're Hindu, you might want cremation as soon as possible, ashes scattered in a sacred river, specific mantras chanted during cremation. Now, what if you're not religious? That's equally important to communicate. You might want no religious elements in your funeral, a celebration of life focused on your passions and experiences, secular readings or music, a humanist or civil celebrant instead of clergy. And if you're somewhere in between, maybe you have spiritual beliefs but don't follow a specific religion. Explain what that means for your end-of-life arrangements. Do you want elements from different faiths incorporated? A mix of spiritual and secular elements? Here's the key. There's no right or wrong here. What matters is that your wishes are understood and respected. And here's something important. Your beliefs might change over time. The faith you were raised in might not be the faith you practice now. The beliefs you had at 30 might not be the beliefs you have at 50. That's okay. Just remember to update your wishes if your beliefs change. So here's your action step. Write down your religious or spiritual beliefs as they relate to your death. Include what faith tradition, if any, you follow, specific rituals or practices you want, who should officiate, a priest, rabbi, celebrant, what you don't want if you're not religious, and then, this is crucial, tell your partner. Have the conversation. Don't make them guess whether you'd want a priest at your bedside or not. Okay, let's talk about the big one, burial versus cremation. This is often the first major decision families have to make, and it's one of the most contentious if you haven't stated your preference. Let's start with burial. Traditional burial is exactly what it sounds like. Your body is placed in a casket and buried in the ground. Some pros to this would be that it aligns with certain religious traditions within Christianity, Judaism, or Islam. It provides a specific place for loved ones to visit. It maintains the body intact, important to some faiths and cultures. Follows family tradition, if that matters to you. Some cons with that it could be that it is expensive. The casket runs from $2,000 to $10,000. A burial plot can be anywhere up to $4,000. A headstone is $1,000 to $3,000. The vault is $1,000 to $2,000. The total cost often $7,000 to $12,000 or more. Space limitations, so cemeteries are running out of room in some areas. Ongoing maintenance fees for the plot, and environmental concerns, which include embalming chemicals and non-biodegradable caskets. Now, if you're leaning toward burial, There's something you might not have thought about. What do you want to wear? I know, it seems like a small detail, but it matters. Some people want their favorite outfit, a suit or dress they loved, something comfortable, jeans and a t-shirt, traditional burial clothes, a military uniform for veterans, cultural or religious garments. When my husband died, I had no idea what he'd want to wear, so I picked his favorite clothes. He looked nice, but I don't think he'd worn a suit more than 5 times in his life, which is why he didn't wear one. Looking back, I think he definitely would have preferred wearing his jeans and his favorite flannel shirt. But I didn't know, so I guessed. Don't make your partner guess. Tell them what you want to wear, or at least give them guidance. I want to be comfortable. I want to look nice. I don't care, whatever makes you happy. Any of those answers are helpful. Okay, now let's talk about cremation. Cremation is the process of reducing the body to ashes through high heat. The pros of this is that it's less expensive, typically $1,000 to $3,000 compared to $7,000 to $12,000 for burial. There's more flexibility. Ashes can be scattered, kept, buried, or turned into memorial items. There's no space limitations. It's perceived as more environmentally friendly, though it does use some energy. It's convenient for geographically dispersed families. Ashes can be divided. Some cons is that it may conflict with certain religious beliefs. Catholicism historically opposed it, Islam prohibits it, Orthodox Judaism prohibits it. No specific gravesite to visit, though you can create memorial spaces. Irreversible. Once you're cremated, that's it, you're done. Some people find that idea unsettling. If you choose cremation, you have options for what happens to your ashes. They can be scattered in a meaningful location, a favorite beach, mountain, lake, or park, your backyard or garden. At sea, there are specific regulations for this, and at a sports stadium. Some allow this, some don't. They can be kept by the family in an urn at home, divided among family members, or in a columbarium, which is a building designed to hold urns. They can be buried in a cemetery plot, much smaller and cheaper than a casket plot, in a family plot with other relatives. They can be turned into memorial items. Jewelry, ashes pushed into diamonds or mixed into glass. Art, ashes mixed into paint or pottery. Fireworks, yes, this is real. Vinyl record, your voice or favorite music with ashes pressed into the vinyl. Tattoo ink, some artists will mix ashes into tattoo ink. Tree or reef, ashes mixed with soil to grow a tree or with concrete to create an artificial reef. The options are honestly endless, but here's the thing. Your family won't know what you want unless you tell them. Now, there are also eco-friendly alternatives gaining popularity, such as natural burial or green burials. This is when you're buried in a natural setting like a meadow or forest. The body decomposes naturally and returns to the earth, and the cost is usually $2,000 to $4,000. Another one is aquamation, which is water cremation, and it's alkaline hydrolysis. The body is dissolved using water, heat, and alkaline chemicals. This is more environmentally friendly than flame cremation. It results in ashes similar to cremation, but it's not legal in all states yet, so you'll have to check that out. And the cost is similar to cremation. Another one is human composting, which is natural organic reduction. The body is placed in a vessel with organic materials. It breaks down into soil over 30 days. The family receives the soil to use in gardens or forests. This is legal in Washington State, Colorado, Oregon, Vermont, and California currently, and the cost is $5,000 to $7,000. So how do you decide? Ask yourself, what aligns with my religious or spiritual beliefs? What feels right to me emotionally? What can my family afford? Do I want a specific place for people to visit? What's most important? Tradition, cost, environment, flexibility? And then say it with me. Tell your partner. Write it down. Include it in your will or estate documents. Don't make them guess. Let's talk about organ donation. This is one of those topics that sounds straightforward but can feel overwhelming in the moment. First, let's clarify what can be donated. For your organs, it's the heart, lungs, liver, kidneys, pancreas, intestines. Tissues would include your eyes, which would be the corneas, skin, bone, heart valves, tendons, veins. And other things that can be donated would be blood, bone marrow, and stem cells. Most of us first encounter this decision when we renew our driver's license. Do you want to be a good organ donor? You check the box. Done. But here's what most people don't know. Even if you check that box, your family might still be asked to make the final call. And when they're asked, it happens fast, really fast. Organ donation organizations need to act quickly to keep the organs viable. So they might contact your family within hours, sometimes within the same day of your death. Let me tell you what happened to me. My husband died on a Sunday morning. That same afternoon, literally hours after he died, I got a call. We're from the organ donation organization. Your husband was registered as an organ donor. We'd like to harvest his eyes. I was in shock. I was grieving. I could barely think straight, and they were asking me to make a decision about his eyes. They explained that they needed to act quickly. Corneas have a short viability window, but they couldn't guarantee the eyes would be usable. It was a gamble. I said no. Not because I was against organ donation, but because I was overwhelmed. I felt like they were circling like piranhas, just waiting to take pieces of him. Looking back, I understand. They have to move fast. They're trying to save lives. But in the moment, it felt aggressive and it felt insensitive. And I made a decision based on emotion, not on what my husband would have wanted. If he and I had talked about this, if he'd said, I want to donate everything possible, even if it's uncertain, I would have said yes. But we never had that conversation. Organ donation is a beautiful, life-saving gift. One donor can save up to 8 lives through organ donation and enhance up to 75 lives through tissue donation. But the process can feel jarring for grieving families. So if you want to be an organ donor, tell your family, I want to donate everything possible, even if it's uncertain, even if it feels fast, say yes. Or maybe you want to be more specific. I want to donate my organs, but not my eyes. I want to donate, but only if it's certain they can use them. I want to donate everything except my heart. Some people have emotional attachments to certain organs. There's also the option of donating your body to medical science. Whole body donation means your body goes to a medical school where it's used to train new doctors, research diseases, test new surgical techniques, advance medical knowledge. This is different from organ donation. With whole body donation, there's no funeral with your body present. You typically can't have an open casket viewing. Your body is returned as ashes months or years later, or sometimes not at all, depending on the program. But it's a way to contribute to medical advancement. So here's your action step. Decide what you want. Options. You can donate all organs and tissues, donate specific organs or tissues, donate body to medical science. No donation. Then tell your family. Write it down, put it in your will, put it in your medical directives, and say it out loud. I want to be an organ donor. If they call you, say yes. Even if it feels fast, even if you're unsure, say yes. That's what I want. Because one donor can save 8 lives, but only if your family knows that's what you want. All right, let's talk about the ceremony. Your funeral, your memorial service, your celebration of life, whatever you want to call it. This is the event where people gather to honor you. And here's the thing. The event is for them, not for you. You won't be there, at least not consciously. But your family and friends will be, and they'll remember it forever. So the question is, what do you want them to experience? Let's break down the options. A traditional funeral service, which typically includes a viewing or visitation where people see your body. A religious or secular service, which includes prayers, readings, eulogies. A procession to the ceremony. A graveside service. A reception afterward. This is the most traditional option, especially in Christian communities. A second option would be a memorial service without the body present. This is similar to a funeral, but your body isn't there. Maybe you've already been cremated, or your body has been buried in a private ceremony. The memorial service is purely about gathering to remember you. A third option would be a celebration of life. This is less formal and more personalized. Instead of somber hymns and black clothing, it might include your favorite music, like rock, jazz, country, whatever you loved, photos and videos of your life, stories and laughter, your favorite foods and drinks, a party atmosphere. Think of it as a tribute to your life, not a mourning of your death. Another option is no ceremony at all. Some people don't want any ceremony. Just cremate me and scatter my ashes, no fuss, no service. If that's what you want, that's valid. But make sure your family knows, because they might need a ceremony for their own closure, even if you don't want one. Now let's talk about the elements you might want to include. So we'll start with music. What songs do you want played? Some people choose religious hymns, like Amazing Grace or How Great Thou Art, classical music by Bach or Mozart, contemporary songs like Tears in Heaven or My Way or Go Rest High on That Mountain, upbeat songs like Don't Stop Believin', Happy, or Celebration, personalized songs like your wedding song, your kid's favorite lullaby. Readings or eulogies. Who do you want to speak? Maybe you want your best friend to give a eulogy, your children to share memories, a religious leader to read scripture, a poem read, Do Not Stand at My Grave and Weep, or The Dash. Military honors for veterans. If you served in the military, you're entitled to military funeral honors, which may include a flag-draped casket, folding and presentation of the flag to your family, a military chaplain, the playing of taps, a rifle salute for certain ranks, and if you're a veteran, specify whether you want these honors. And personalized touches. What made you, you? Maybe you want a video montage of your life, your hobbies displayed, such as your golf clubs, your fishing gear, your art supplies, a memory table with photos and mementos, your favorite foods served at the reception, a charity donation station instead of flowers. Your pallbearers. If you're having a burial with a casket, you'll need pallbearers, the people who carry your casket. Traditionally, there are 6 pallbearers. Who do you want as your 6? Maybe your children, your siblings, your best friends, your military buddies, your coworkers. Don't leave this decision to the last minute. Tell your family who you'd want. The location. Where do you want the ceremony? Options could be a church, synagogue, mosque, or temple, a funeral home chapel, a community center, your home or backyard, a park or outdoor space, a meaningful location such as the beach, the mountains, or a golf course. And finally, do you want a viewing? A viewing, also called a visitation or wake, is when people come to see your body before the funeral. Some people find this comforting. It helps with closure. Others find it unsettling. The options could include an open casket public viewing, which is anyone can come see your body. Open casket private viewing, only immediate family sees your body. Closed casket is present but closed. And no viewing is nobody present, which means you've already been cremated or buried. Here's the thing about viewings. Circumstances may dictate this decision. If you die in a traumatic accident, an open casket might not be possible. If you die of a long illness, your appearance might be drastically changed. So you might want to say, I'm okay with a viewing, but only if I look like myself. Or, no viewing, no matter what, I want people to remember me as I was. So here's your action step. Answer these questions. What kind of ceremony do I want? A traditional funeral, memorial service, celebration of life, or no ceremony? What music do I want played? Who do I want to speak? Do I want military honors, if applicable? What personalized touches represent me? Who do I want as my pallbearers? Where should the ceremony be held? And do I want a viewing? Write down your answers. Share them with your partner. Put them in your will or with your estate documents. But here's the truth. Your family will be in a fog of grief. They'll be making dozens of decisions in a short amount of time, and they'll be second-guessing every choice. Is this what they would have wanted? Don't make them guess. Tell them. Okay, now we're getting into the money. Who inherits what when you die? This is where families fall apart. Siblings stop speaking, children contest wills, lawyers get rich. But it doesn't have to be that way. If you're clear about your wishes and you communicate them, you can prevent most of this drama. Let's break down the different aspects of inheritance. The first is money distribution. Who gets your money? Options: you can split equally among children, specific amounts to specific people, percentages, like 50% to the spouse and 25% to each child, or whatever percentage to each child, depending on the number of children you have. Everything to your spouse, then to children after the spouse dies. Specific bequests, such as $10,000 to your best friend, $5,000 to your church, etc. Here's a controversial take. You don't have to split equally among your children. I know, but that's not fair. But equal isn't always fair. Consider: one child is wealthy, one is struggling. One child cared for you for years, others didn't. One child has addiction or mental health issues. Giving them a lump sum could harm them. One child has special needs, which requires more financial support. You already gave one child $100,000 for college or a house down payment. If you choose unequal distribution, do two things. One, explain your reasoning in a letter. Don't just leave unequal amounts without explanation. Write a letter that says, I'm leaving more to Sarah because she has 3 children and is a single mom. I'm leaving less to John because he's financially secure and doesn't need it as much. I love you both equally. This is about need, not love. And second, tell your children while you're alive, if possible. Don't let them find out after you die. Have the conversation now. Explain your reasoning. It might be uncomfortable, but it's better than them finding out at the reading of the will. Second, personal belongings. Who gets your stuff? This is where families really fight. Not over the money, over mom's wedding ring, dad's watch, the family photos. Here's what I recommend. Make a list of your most meaningful items and who should get them. Examples. My wedding ring goes to my daughter. My guitar goes to my son. My grandfather's pocket watch goes to my nephew. My recipe box goes to my best friend. My photo albums are divided equally among my children. For everything else you might say, my children can divide the remaining items among themselves. If they can't agree, they should donate or sell the items and split the proceeds. The third thing is charitable giving. Do you want to leave money to charity? This is a beautiful way to make a lasting impact. Some options include a lump sum to your favorite charity, a percentage of your estate, establish a foundation or scholarship in your name, a donor-advised fund, which is you contribute now, the charity receives after your death. The fourth thing is life insurance and retirement plans. Here's something critical. Life insurance and retirement accounts pass directly to the named beneficiary. They do not go through your will. So even if your will says everything to my children, if your life insurance policies list your ex-spouse as the beneficiary, your ex-spouse gets the money. Check these beneficiary designations right now. Life insurance policies, 401k accounts, IRA accounts, pension plans, annuities, bank accounts with payable on death designations, investments accounts with transfer on death designations. Make sure they match your current wishes. Also consider the tax implications. For retirement accounts, if you leave them to your spouse, they can roll them into their own IRA, tax deferred. If you leave them to your children, they may have to take distributions and pay taxes. Talk to a financial advisor about the most tax-efficient way to leave retirement accounts. The fifth thing is trusts. If you're leaving money to minor children under 18, someone with special needs, someone who's not good with money, someone with addiction issues, consider setting up a trust. A trust allows you to control when and how money is distributed, protect assets from creditors, lawsuits, or divorce, provide for someone without giving them direct access to a lump sum, and reduce estate taxes in some cases. The types of trusts include revocable living trusts, which you control it while you're alive. It can be changed or canceled at any time. Avoids probate, doesn't reduce estate taxes. An irrevocable trust can't be changed after it's created, reduces estate taxes, protects assets from creditors. A special needs trust provides for someone with disabilities, doesn't disqualify them from government benefits such as Social Security or Medicaid. A spendthrift trust protects beneficiaries from themselves. Trustee controls distributions and prevents the beneficiary from blowing the money. Trusts are complex. You need an attorney to set them up, but they can be incredibly valuable for protecting your beneficiaries. Another thing could be a staggered inheritance. Instead of giving your children a lump sum at 18 or 21, consider staggering the inheritance. An example is at 25% at age 25, 25% at age 30, 25% at age 35, and 25% at age 40. Or tie it to milestones. 1/3 when they graduate college, 1/3 when they get married, 1/3 when they turn 35. This prevents young adults from making poor financial decisions with a large inheritance. The seventh thing is digital assets. Don't forget about digital assets. Cryptocurrency such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc. Online payment accounts such as PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App. digital photos and videos that might be held in the cloud storage, so for social media accounts, domain names or websites you own, digital music, books, or movie collections, and frequent flyer miles or credit card points. Your cryptocurrency, especially if you don't leave access information such as wallet passwords, recovery phrases, that money is gone forever. There's over $200 billion in cryptocurrency held by deceased owners that's completely inaccessible. Don't let your crypto die with you. The eighth thing is business succession. If you own a business, what happens to it when you die? The options is that you can transfer it to a family member, you can transfer it to a business partner, you can sell to the employees, you can sell to an outside buyer, you can close the business. Just whatever you decide, make your wishes clear in your estate plan. Include who gets ownership, how the business should be valued, how the transition should happen, whether there's life insurance to fund a buyout. The ninth thing is the explanatory letter. Here's something most people don't do but should. Write a letter explaining your inheritance decisions. Not the legal stuff, that goes in your will, but the personal stuff. Example, Dear Sarah and John, I've left my estate split 60-40 instead of 50-50. Sarah, you're getting more because you have 3 children and John doesn't. This isn't about love. I love you both equally. It's about need. John, I know you're financially secure and you'll understand. Sarah, I hope this helps you provide for your children. I'm also leaving my wedding ring to Sarah and my watch to John. These are the items I know you each treasured. Everything else, please divide fairly. If you can't agree, donate it or sell it and split the money. I love you both so much. Please don't fight over my stuff. Your relationship with each other is worth more than any amount of money. Love, Mom. This kind of letter can prevent so much conflict. It explains your reasoning, it expresses your love, it gives them permission to let go of material things. And the 10th thing is to review regularly. Your inheritance wishes should change as your life changes. Review your estate plan after marriage or divorce, after the birth or adoption of a child, after death in the family, after a major financial change such as an inheritance, a business sale, or a windfall, after moving to a new state because estate laws vary. Every 3 to 5 years, even if nothing major has happened. So here's your action step. Answer these questions. How do I want my money distributed? Are there specific items I want specific people to have? Do I want to leave money to a charity? Are my life insurance and retirement account beneficiaries current? Do I need a trust for any beneficiaries? Do I want to stagger inheritances? What happens to my digital assets? If I own a business, what's the succession plan? Have I explained my reasoning in a letter? Write down your answers. Update your will. Tell your family your wishes. Because here's the truth. Most families fight over inheritance aren't about the money. They're about feeling valued, feeling loved, feeling like they matter to you. When you clearly communicate your wishes and your reasoning, you're telling your family, I thought about this. I made intentional choices, and I love you. That prevents conflict. Before we wrap up, I want to talk about something that might be the most important thing in this entire episode. It's not about money. It's not about logistics. It's about love. Leave messages for your family. Write letters, record videos, save voicemails. These will become treasures. When my husband died, I went through his phone looking for photos, and I found a voicemail he'd left for me a few months earlier. It was nothing special, just him calling saying he'd be home late from work. But hearing his voice, it was everything. I saved that voicemail. I still have it almost 10 years later. Sometimes when I'm missing him, I play it, just to hear his voice. Your family will do the same. They'll search for any trace of you, texts, emails, voicemails, videos, so give them something intentional. Ideas could be letters to your children. Write a letter to each child telling them how proud you are of them, what you love about them, your hopes and dreams for them, advice for their life, memories you cherish. Letters to your spouse. Tell them what they meant to you, your favorite memories together, how grateful you are for your life together, permission to move on and find happiness again. Videos. Record videos telling stories from your life, sharing your values and beliefs, giving advice, saying I love you. Just being yourself, laughing, talking, existing. For milestone moments. If you have a terminal diagnosis, consider recording messages for future milestones: your daughter's wedding, your son's graduation, the birth of grandchildren, your spouse's birthday. These can be opened at these moments, allowing you to be present even when you're gone. Your ethical will. An ethical will isn't a legal document. It's a letter sharing your values, life lessons you've learned, family stories and history, what you're most proud of, what you want your legacy to be. Here's the thing. You don't have to be dying to do this. You can write these letters and record these videos right now. In fact, you should, because you never know when your time will come. And if you do have a terminal diagnosis, don't think of this as giving up. It's not. It's an act of love. You're giving your family the gift of your words, your voice, your presence, even after you're gone. So here's your action step. This week, do one of these. Write a letter to your spouse or your children. Record a video message. Save a voicemail or voice memo. Start an ethical will. Just one. That's all. Because someday your family will treasure it more than any amount of money you could leave them. All right, let's recap. Today we covered religious beliefs and end-of-life rituals, which include what faith tradition, if any, you follow, specific rituals you want, who should officiate, and what you don't want if you're not religious. Burial versus cremation, the burial pros, cons, costs, and what to wear, cremation pros, cons, and what happens to ashes, and eco-friendly alternatives such as natural burial, aquamation, and human composting. We covered organ donation, what can be donated, how fast it happens, and why you need to tell your family your wishes, and whole body donation to medical science. The ceremony, what kind of send-off do you want? Music, readings, military honors, personalized touches, pallbearers, location, and viewing options. Your inheritance wishes for money distribution, equal or unequal, personal belongings, charitable giving, life insurance and retirement accounts, check beneficiaries, by the way, trust for minors or special needs, staggered inheritance, digital assets, especially cryptocurrency, and business succession planning, and the explanatory letter. And notes and videos for your family, which include letters to children and spouse, videos for milestone moments, ethical will, and the gift of your words and voice. Here's what I want you to do this week. Number 1, answer the big question: burial or cremation? Write down your choice. Tell your partner. Number 2, check your beneficiary designations: life insurance, 401k, IRA. Make sure they're current. Number 3, write one letter or record one video to your spouse, your child, or your family. Just one. Tell them you love them. That's it. 3 simple steps. Just those 3 steps will save your family from guessing. They'll know what you want. They'll have your words. They'll have clarity in the chaos. Your wishes matter, but they can't be honored if they're not clear. So tell your family what you want. Write it down, say it out loud, record it. Don't make them guess. Next week, we're diving into something crucial. If you have kids, this episode is non-negotiable. Who takes care of them if you die? What do they eat? What are their routines? What about their health, education, and custody? And the guardian decision that could change everything. If you're a parent, you can't miss this one. Until then, have the conversation. Write the letter. Tell your family what you want. And remember, death is inevitable. Chaos is optional.